All right. Well, this one's going to be a raw vlog, I think. Just make sure we've got the focus going. I'm somewhere in the mountains of Kosovo. You can see the trail behind me. Essentially what we've done is we've driven from the valley floor, found a little ski town, or a mountain town at least, where there was the restaurant that you would have seen in the previous video. And from there is a 1 hour hike to get to a lake that is on the border between Kosovo and Montenegro. So that is what I'm hoping to do. Altitude at the moment is about 1600 meters. And whilst the temperature is not as hot as it was down in the city yesterday, it is definitely still packing a punch, especially when you're hiking up the hill. Simon is up there. Give us a wave, Simon. Simon, I picked up on the way up here. He was hitchhiking. He was also going to be hiking to this lake. So we're joined up for this one. So let's get going and see how far we get, see if we can find the lakes. Just over halfway there. Some Christmas trees growing here. In the winter, the guy said at the bottom that there is 2 to 3 meters of snow, so you've got no chance in the real deep winter time. And then we've just been passed by about 5 or 6 other hikers up there, and I am definitely the less fit of all of them, so I've stopped a few times just to take a breath of fresh air. Loads of flies around now, and to drink some water. So I'm all good again, caught my breath, I'm gonna press on. It is a beautiful sight, no doubt about it. However, there are a few storm clouds up in the sky over there. Are they coming in our direction, Simon? What? Are they coming in our direction?
It seems like.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a bad time, I think.
Yeah, I've got a worry now that they are heading towards us, but hopefully not too much further to go. Simon is travelling twice the speed that I am. And the poor guy has to keep waiting for me, but so far he has showed a lot of patience. And look at these sort of jagged mountains going off on my left side there now. And what a view down into the valley. See if we can zoom in. This hike is just amazing. So far, so good. The hike that I'm currently on is also part of the Peaks of the Balkans hike, which is a 160 kilometer odd hike through 3 countries: Kosovo, Albania and Montenegro. And you have to have your paperwork sorted out before you do it, because you are crossing where there are no border crossings, and no official ones anyway, and that is not allowed unless you have the right paperwork. It is a 10-day hike as well, kind of in the wilderness here, but it is just incredible to see. There we go. It looks like we may dodge the storm clouds, which is good news. We're making progress. About 500 meters still to go, so not long now as I pass between 2 Christmas trees. Wildlife here in the accursed mountains is very rich. There are brown bears, believe it or not, which is another good reason not to hike alone. However, brown bears, generally speaking, they are fearful of humans, so if they hear you coming, and they hear you when you're talking like this, so it's good to make a noise, then they usually just leave the area if they're nearby. There's also wild cats, lynxes, and lots of other animals in the woods here. As much as you want to see some of them, you also don't want to see some of them, if you know what I mean. So I am very pleased to report that I am at a ridge now where I can look down on the lake. I'll show you that in a second. The lake is right on the border. There is a fly on the lens now. Loads of flies around here. The lake, some maps report that part of the lake is actually in Montenegro. I'm not sure how accurate that is because some maps report that and some maps don't. So I'm sure someone will confirm that in the comments one way or another. But I'm going to show you the view that I've got in a second. It is just stunning. No doubt about it. The hike has been about an hour to get here, but it's kind of felt like 2 or 3 more flies on the lens, and it is very, very steep, but it's always worth it when you go hiking because the views when you get to the top or to the location are always spectacular, and this one will not disappoint. Say in England, the water is as still as a mill pond. I'm just round the side of it now, following the footpath here, and I'm thinking, as I may have said earlier, try and gain a little bit of elevation and see some views down onto the lake. I am still out of breath from that hike up, but what a place. As promised, I've made it partially up the other side of the bank. I'm not going to go all the way up because I can hear thundering in the distance, and it is starting to get a little bit dark. It's not going to get properly dark for another couple of hours, so I'm all good, but I don't want to be out here when we start losing the light, so I'm going to start heading back, I think. But before I do, let me just show you the views here. What a stunning place. That's where I came up first of all and had a look over the lake itself. These beautiful mountains. I could spend a day here quite easily just hiking around these mountains and maybe trying to pick out some better viewpoints. I'm sure there are some. It is very, very quiet as well. I've seen no bears, I've seen no snakes, I've seen no lynxes, but I'm not going to chance my luck, so I'm going to start heading back, and we will see what else we find along the way. I'm not even sure how much I'm going to record, if anything, on the way back, so I am going in that direction. Let's roll. On my way back down the trail, it is thundering and lightning, which is not good, and the rain is definitely making the rocks and the mud and dirt a lot more slippery. Even though the sky is stormy, it does look like it's moving across me rather than coming for me. So hopeful. There's some lightning. 2, 3, 4. Whoa. So the good news is, if there is any, that I counted 2 last time. So with a bit of luck, the storm is actually passing away from me now. I'm about half an hour on now, and I haven't had much thunder and lightning since. But I've got to say, it has just started again, and I counted 5 on that one. Oh, the trail's getting a little bit... Oh, that's better. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You do not want to be out on a hiking trail in the forest and mountains when there is a storm approaching. That was 6 again though, so it was 6 last time. With a bit of luck, it will be 7, 8, 9 on the next occasion. I think there was a mix up at the top because Simon headed down a bit earlier than I did. But that's fine, it's all good. Yeah, I remember this sign. Yeah, so it's saying half an hour to the lake, 1.7 kilometers. Well, it took me a lot longer than half an hour to get from this point up there. But that's because 1, I'm unfit, and 2, I stopped quite a lot to take video and whatnot. So it's not really something that I usually do, is to compare my own performance against the times on the signs, because I am always slower. Right, oh, a bit muddy, but not too bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There we go. And the thundering now. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, well, that doesn't make sense. One lightning was 11, the other was 5. What does that mean? Just as I'm going into deep dark forestry here. Gotta say, the trail markings have been excellent. It is an easy trail to follow, steep, but I would say, gotta watch your footing, especially when it's wet. I would say that really anybody with physical fitness around about average, maybe not even average, could make it up if you take your time. Okay, it's starting to rain again. Lightning again. Let's get out of here.